Beware, the universes are getting thin.
Golly, golly.
This is what you gotta do. You've got to stop him. But I don't know how.
Oh gosh, gee whiz.
I'll stake you, vampire.
Yes, guys, it's time for a action figure review. As I am joined by Butterboy, and we're going to review the new
Vampire Batman.
Vampire Batman.
Comparing to the old Vampire Batman.
We're going to compare him to the old one so you can get twice the flavor. And that's what we're going to do.
HD close up.
Okay, so we have two different Vampire Batmen. And Vampire Batman is basically a version you see in video games, and you see him on cartoons, and of course in the comics. And it comes from the DC Comics Red Rain comic book, where Batman basically fights Dracula, and then to stop Dracula, he winds up becoming a vampire. And thanks to DC Comics and their new 52, well, their 52 universes, they actually gave that its own universe. And I thought that was really cool. So anyway, I don't know if they've done anything about it lately with the new 52, but Vampire Batman's kind of a cool concept. Where Bruce Wayne basically becomes an actual vampire and he gets wings and fangs and he has to control the thirst. And that was a cat that just walked by. Anyway, so here we have two different versions of him made into plastic.
Old one, new one.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Butterboy. Old one, new one. Now, Butterboy, which one do you like the best?
Well, if it's on detail, I would love the old one because it seems like he has like more detail, like he's really a vampire.
Very good.
I mean, it's pretty cool because the detail on the stomach,
the rib cage is really sunken in,
yeah,
like he's thirsty, and considering the fact that he's Bruce Wayne, he's not going to want to kill people to drink blood. And in this universe, the only way to get your vampiric nourishment is to drink human blood. So, sounds like we have a couple vampires fighting in the background right now. That would be our cats. No. Stop it, cats! Anyway, so you like the detail of how the rib cage is sunken in. His fingers are really pointed and all.
He's gonna attack someone.
They almost look spiky. I'm gonna go ahead and pick him up, and we see how his fingers are bent. Sometimes people draw him like in video game stuff where he's got like clawed fingers. So you can kind of see. Look at that. Look on the back of his neck. It's the spine is sticking up. See, and then it kind of goes back, and then like here lift up his cape. Okay. See the spine
goes all the way down.
Hold on, let's get the light on that. The spine, goes all the way down, exactly. And he's very decrepit, as it were. He's got really big old leathery wings, huge wings. I love those wings. One of the things I love about this, the detail is of course a very good thing. You're right. One of the things I love about this, I love his red eyes. And I love the wings, and I also love the cape, but I wish it was more posable. It's a big hunk of rubber, and it's a hard rubber, and it looks like mist. And vampires in the old Bram Stoker legends and such turn into mist, and you can see, and I believe he does too.
It's his cape.
I apologize. Like, yeah, look at that.
Like he will
turn to mist. And when I got this figure, I always felt like, he's turning into mist on my display. So that's one function I really like about him. I must apologize. I've never read Red Rain. I think there's a sequel to it as well. You can post in the comments what that is. But I do plan on buying those because they're really cool. It's a cool story I've heard of. And it's a wonderful concept. So here we have that cape. Now, the contrast here is that's the one that came out with DC Direct. That was DC Comics' own action figure line, and it came out several years ago. And they had like the Elseworlds. That's before they brought back their alternate Earths, the 52 Earths. Before they brought back the multiverse with the 52 Earths, they would just call worlds that never could happen as Elseworlds, like Superman. lived in Russia, Red Sun, Superman Red Sun, or Batman Red Rain, or so on and so forth. And so they would make special figures of them, and I've always loved that whole idea, alternate world idea. So here we have him done with DC Direct. When DC Direct did those, you can get those off of eBay and so on and so forth, and very decent figure. He has some pratfalls though to him. I don't like how he's got the standard points of articulation. Okay, so here, go ahead and hold him, butter boy. He's got the standard points. He has articulation at the wrist, but not on the fingers or hand. He's got articulation on the elbows, and he has ball joints, so he can move his arm in pretty much any fashion you
Not
wish.
everywhere, because when you go really up, it will break if you
Yeah,
go
you
all
gotta
the way up. So
exactly. You gotta be careful.
it has to
But
go. This is the
but
line
just to
of-
show the reader, he can stand. I mean, his arms can go down straight, and that would be
it has
fine.
little spikes that may stab you.
Well, yeah, they all do. Most Batmen do have these spikes.
Even
I guess
on
they're a way to
his
stop swords or something. You saw that
leg.
in Batman Begins. But anyway, the wings, I believe they came off when the figure first came, and you pop them in these little joints
I
here.
don't really think so.
Yeah, no, it didn't. The box wasn't big enough to contain them like this.
Yeah.
So you had to pop them in. But once they're in, they stay in. He's been in my
They
box
snap
for
in, yeah.
years, and it's been great. And he's got these points, very
Gotta
sharp
go,
points.
like so he can climb up like a regular bat.
Yeah, and just like a gargoyle, like you said.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's very pointy here, like you said, pointy here, pointy here. These are adult collectible toys, so your 5-year-old may not have fun chewing on it.
Mhm.
Now, one thing I don't like is I know he's decrepit and evil and mean looking, but I'm not personally a fan of a vampire that looks completely, totally freakazoid. Like, say, in Van Helsing, when the girls were getting all freaky and their mouths got all big. I'm not a big fan of that. And actually, the cat screaming back there was kind of cool with what we're talking about here.
I know, right?
Stop it, cats! Anyway, I don't like how he's all decrepit. I mean, it just, I don't know. I mean, if he's so weak and his face is all decrepit and his rib cage is showing, then why the heck has he got such bloody mouth? I know that's kind of what the comic probably looked like. I've seen images of the comic, but also he's all stretched out like a vulture. And that's also something that is true to the comic. And if that's what you're looking for, something on your shelf to be true to the comic, then this is the one you're going to want to get. But personally, I like my figures a little more streamlined, so that's why I have problems with it. Here, hold him again, please. I'm going to go ahead, switch camera hands, and hold on to his legs really tight.
Yeah, he doesn't. Let me do it, Dad.
Does he have he does
not
it.
have a
So
line
there's no
for
articulation
hip
right here at the belt.
articulation.
So he can't turn around. So you can hide behind him and not be bitten. And then we have these thick legs, and I'm sure that was comic accurate, but again, not very streamlined.
Yeah, no.
He's got here. Go ahead and bend his legs up.
He's like,
As I'm the
like,
cameraman.
Well, Dracula, I'm trying to. I can't sit down. I can't sit down.
Don't sit down. No.
Like,
So he can't sit down and have a nice meal.
Yeah.
But he's a vampire. He can fly and get it. And there's his knee articulation. So that's kind of what you're dealing with. Look, he's like sitting back in a chair. You got that. That's as far up as he can sit. And his knees, of course, they're pretty fat. His legs, I mean, they're pretty fat. So I know it's stylized. That's the whole point. Those boots have any swivel? Don't look like they do. So the feet are stuck. So his legs are stuck in position. Now, as you've seen in the beginning of this video and in other videos of mine, I have a nice little bookshelf where I put my figures for display. Not everybody has a big wide area. If you have a wide area to display your figures, this is perfect. His cape, his mist cape that I like, provides a backdrop. His legs can straighten up a little bit. And he'll pretty much stand anywhere except for on my little thin bookshelf or on other people's thin areas. So, you got a little bit of a problem there. If you don't have a lot of room, then it's a little hard to display him with everybody. But we're not talking, he's not the size of say, a Galactus figure or Hulk figure. I mean, he doesn't take up that much room. But I'd have to say, if you only have so much shelf space, he's going to take about a good 2 inches. Or maybe 1.5 inches or so. And the cape, while pliable, if it's pliable, he will easily fall forward.
You gonna crush the snake?
Yeah. Now, good point. He comes with this stake. That's one of the nice things about DC Direct is sometimes they gave you all kinds of cool accessories. And this one right here it looks wooden. It's plastic, of course, but it looks wooden. It's my favorite.
Detail.
Yeah, I love this stake.
It's like awesome, you know?
I mean, that's real.
It's literally wood.
I'm not sure who the sculptor was. I'm sure it's online. You can find the sculptor, but
and the plastic cannot bend.
Well, yeah, because it's hard, and so it's like
Yep.
it'd be like wood, for instance. It's not really wood; it's plastic, but it goes great. And so you could take somebody else. Now it comes with him, but honestly, he could probably hold it. And I assume in the comic he probably had a wood bat stake, and he goes around stabbing other vampires. Hold on, before we do that,
I know.
here, try to put it in his hand. He comes with this stake, so he's supposed to hold it. And as I was saying, probably in the comic, he was stabbing other vampires. And if that's what you want him to do, that's great. But if you'd rather have him lose control of the blood, here's a standard Batman, the most modern version from the New 52. You see him standing next to this Batman. And we're going to go ahead and change. Oh, see, DC Direct, that's a problem I'm going to talk about in a second. I mean, DC Classics. That's a problem I'm going to talk about in a second. Anyway, so here's your modern New 52 Batman. Ordinary Batman, the modern kind with a nice slick cape, and maybe one day we'll give a review. He's cool. But anyway, so he's going to stand here, trying to make his feet as flush to the floor as possible without bent knees. Okay. Yeah, it seems pretty good. So see, that's where they are. He is actually a little taller than Vampire Batman. And if you'll know, if you have any of these DC Universe Classics figures, they all come with basically the same body build, although some are different sculpt, like this chest, because of the piping or whatever that they have in the New 52 style. But you'll see they all have about this custom size, same size, because they use interchangeable parts with each other in the factory. So you see where he comes up to a New 52 or a DC Universe Classics figure. So, and given the fact that he's all hunched over, like, Igor, I'm going to get you, master, you can see why he'd be, he immediately be taller, but that's okay. So he works with your other figures, and, like I said, figures with good wrists can, die, you scheme, I would never be you. You're not my father, or me, or whatever. Anyway, so that's kind of where you are with DC Direct. So, you want something close to the sculpt of the actual book. You want something that has really cool leathery wings and a shadowy cape, and you don't mind taking some space on your shelf, and you get a really good steak out of the deal. And I don't mean like, that sounds like we're going to a restaurant. Oh, really good steak.
Juicy steak.
I want the juice. Anyway, so basically, you're going to go for DC Direct. But if you want typical statuistic articulation, in the fact these legs don't do much except for here, this hasn't got a whole articulation, no articulation here. You got some ball joints, but they're only going to go a certain degree. They're not as articulate as your DC Universe Classics or your Marvel Legends. So then you're going to be dealing with somebody else. Well, thanks to DC Universe Classics, as they die, they have the Batman Legends, I think it's called. It's a new line, and they've been kind of, actually the line's been wrapping up. It's new, but now it's dying, as they usually do. And that would be the Batman from the DC Universe Classics, the Batman Legends. And here he is. So, Batman Unlimited is the name of the toy line. It is Mattel's DC Universe Classics was originally the ones they did, but they did Batman. Hold on, wait. Well, what is he staring at? Hey! God, you can't leave these guys alone for a second. Stop it! Bad evil vampire. Okay, anyway, now this is Batman Unlimited figure assortment. And you usually have to buy them on eBay or online. It's just a way to do it. Of course, like I said, everybody's pretty standard. Some characters are a little taller, some characters are a little thinner. For this one, they did a thinner model. To tell you the truth, looking at this sculpt, now like I said, this is not a current review for DC Universe Classics. But as I've said before, and I'll say again in future reviews, they all have standard bodies. I mean, this leg piece right here, this leg piece right here, they come from another figure done again and again. This boot piece is new. This, you know, so on. So some things are new sculpts, and some things are carryovers from other figures, like shoulder bits. They paint it differently, and they do whatever they can to make a different figure. I like that. I like the standard, sleek DC Universe Classics where everybody has a similar body type. Because on the shelf, they all kind of work together that way, and they look good together. Nobody stands taller than anybody unless they have to, unless the character needs to. Well, with classics, sometimes what they do is they make a brand new sculpt. Well, if you look at this guy, he's got these stretch marks on his chest as if he's weak, kind of like what we're doing here, but he's got that as well.
It's
The bats,
slightly less detailed.
now the bat symbol on this one is painted in, but I've had this for a while and it hasn't scratched, but probably protective because he's in this rib cage sucked in so he doesn't get scratched by anybody. But in a box where you store him, if you store him in a box with other figures. This one is painted. He'll probably be scratched a little easier. But you got the hands that are all spooky looking. You still got the points. You got the ball. You got typical DC. Here, can you stand him like he's got his arms out, down?
Like what?
Here, like here, you take the camera for a second.
Okay.
Are we still filming?
Yep.
Okay. So, see, he's got this articulation here.
I can see him.
And the DC Classics all have the same articulation, even if they have different sculpts. Now, I don't know if these pieces are from other figures. They probably are. That could be Mercury's arms, or the Creeper's arms from other classic assortments. This is probably a new arms. Oh, well, he's got, let me see. Okay, that's one piece. So this is one piece right here. He had lots of pieces. So this one, which swivels and turns. You got this, which you have the elbow articulation like the Creeper or Robin or Mercury, for instance, and of the Metal Men. And I think it's probably even Mercury or Creeper's arm that you're looking at. Probably same with this shoulder, which is ball jointed and goes up and down. The cape kind of prevents a little bit of it from going, but I think it's also because it's just a new toy and just needs to work out the bugs. It should be fine. You have, of course, his ab crunch. It's always great to have that. Ooga, ooga, ooga. Not to make him be all dirty. I'm going to get you. No, it's more like he can go like this and fly. It's one thing when I open up out of the package, David said, "Ooh, look at that! Dad, he can
like
lift
this,
up."
like he can. Okay, you got the camera done. Like I went like this, like kind of bended his kind of.
Not too far back.
Anyway.
See,
You know,
and
like
that's really good for
like
a vampire
he's
Batman.
gliding and
Like he's
going
gliding.
is going to eat.
It's going to eat you.
So that's why.
And so we got that, and then here, go ahead and start twisting some things.
Okay.
Do the waist. See, waist articulation.
Perfectly, and I don't.
I want waist articulation.
I think you can. Well, you can only do this, but that's.
It probably goes all the way around, but don't try. Okay, so he tries. And now
it was easy.
all the
Just break it.
classics have, for the most part, well, a bunch of them do.
Yeah.
I wish Black Canary did, but has this kicking side thing going on, and of course a proper sit down, so you can sit down and eat. Alfred, fetch me some dead chickens.
Actually, I think Alfred will be a vampire too.
I gave my Alfred figure away. I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Rick. That's the guy I gave it to, but I miss him. Anyway, turn right here, articulation
Oh, articulation right there.
on the leg, which is true for all the classics.
Yep.
Except for this guy. No, he has it too. And it's wonderful. And I believe, let's go ahead and see this. That's probably Mercury's leg or the Creeper's. That's definitely the Creeper's leg piece. This is also probably the Creeper.
I bet you can bend
The
down,
boots
but
were
you know what?
painted.
This is kind of a new toy.
It's a new
so
yeah.
it might break or not. So let's.
Oh,
not try
actually,
this
you
way.
can bend him down. But if
You can.
yeah, I can try it if you're afraid to try. You want to switch?
I'm okay.
Just
Did it?
Okay. So the knees do bend,
Like I did. Like I did before.
and that's really nice.
Mhm.
And here, take the camera for a second.
Okay.
What I like about a decent werewolf or even a vampire is they're kind of a bestial creature. sometimes, so they need to have a knee articulation. They need to go, I'm gonna bend down on you. You know, it's like, oh, don't get me. And that's what you need here. See? So I like having that flexibility. As opposed to this guy, I can just do this like a rocket. And so it's better that way in my mind. These are painted on. These right here. And of course you have your typical boot. I'd almost have to say this whole piece is Creeper.
Yep.
It's Creeper's legs.
Not a Minecraft
And maybe
creeper.
even this right here is the Creeper. Not Minecraft Creeper. The Creeper from DC Comics.
Yep.
He had a figure like that. You got your little text on his butt here, on his back, saying information of where it comes from
China,
and all that.
all
China.
that.
Here's a nice little belt. It's brand new belt sculpt. It'd be a great belt sculpt for classic Batman.
Oh,
but
yeah.
he's already got a figure, and that's good enough
yeah.
for me. Okay, now he also has his wings. When I got this in the mail, I actually got it loose. I thought it was going to be in a package, but that's okay. When it came, the wings, of course, were off, which I'm sure they do in the package as well. And I had to pop them in. Now, the cape has got their typical DC Classics peg stuck into the chest. I'm not going to remove that. I ruined a Thor figure from Marvel Legends when I tried to remove that, and I just don't want to take any risks. But I was able to pop in this, if it's from his perspective, it would be the right wing. So we'll call it right wing for lack of a better term. I popped in the right wing with no problem. The left wing had a little bit of a, the plastic peg inside there, I'm not going to show you. The plastic peg was a little warped. And so even now, it's not completely in, which annoys me.
Yeah.
And in the process of popping it in, I weakened this plastic. I think you could zoom in there. I weakened that plastic so you
That
can
white
see.
part?
That white part, it's the purple part.
He tried
It
to
got
fix
it almost ripped off. It's okay, it'll work. I don't like how that looks. I don't paint
like
my figures anymore.
Looks like he's broken on that
It
wing,
almost,
but
yeah, and it
he's
looks like the
okay.
wings up a little far. Ooh.
Ooh,
See, that's about to fall out. That's about to fall out just by moving that. So that's something that's a failure to me. That's a big failure. The DC Direct one, I love these big fat leathery wings. Now, Hawkman and Hawkgirl came with big wings. You can't tell me the classics couldn't have done something with that on his back. Made her bigger holes. He's still going to come with these brand new holes. Probably why this is a new sculpt for the holes. Yeah. And it could have been better. But I understand that they're trying to save money and it's a bad economy right now. And that's probably why they couldn't do a better tooling. But he's forever going to have these weak wings.
That's why they didn't have any detail on it. So this is kind of a better Batman, but if you want detail.
You want detail, it's this one. He's right. That one. But if you want a good, he stands. He doesn't have this big gap. He stands straight and tall. Now, when we were setting these guys up, he wanted to fall. It isn't because he's starved and he needs blood. It is because he is doesn't stand very well, but he does stand. Sorry, Dave. Okay. He just fell over again. Yep. He does. See how hard it is for me to do this? Now, this is on a typical tote you buy from Walmart. As we're just beginning these reviews, we don't have a big setup place for it. But his legs are falling up, stretching out across, and so it's making it harder for him to stand. So see, I'm having to do this. I'm doing this one-handed. There we go. Now, if he's on a Walmart tote, yeah, he's probably going to tip over sometimes. But if you have a nice thick shelf, it's not so bad. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But anyway, so it's really, what do you want for your money? Do you want a Batman that doesn't look exactly like the comic, has lame wings, but excellent sculpt in the face? But look at that face, the blood and the teeth. Not the blood, I mean the blood red eyes. And the teeth are nice and sharp. He looks nice. He looks creepy. He's got the horns, the ears as they were, that stand up really tall. He's gonna have a little bit of hard time standing up, probably because of the wings to a certain degree.
You might need
He does
stand.
And another thing, his cape, which I didn't talk about, it's a different cape, brand new cape. It flaps back. It's nice, but it's not a big cloak, cloud, mist. No. They could have done that, but I guess they're trying to save on money. Yeah. Wish he would have had something like that. Even if it's shot down and went out about maybe a quarter of an inch, that would have been nice. But I get it. You're trying to save money, Hasbro. Still, we are paying a lot of money for these. We really are. When I bought this one, it was about $16 on eBay. and plus shipping from wherever you're at. This one was I think it was like $25 on eBay plus shipping. He costs more money, and yet we have lamer wings. He can't. His cape doesn't allow him to have a proper standing like this one, but yet at the same time, he can fit better on a shelf, so it's a toss-up. And he can stand. If I wasn't on a Walmart tote, I'll show you more about that.
Kind of like a check.
Yeah. Now he comes with a stake as well, and it's just a simple little plastic stake with a little bit of coloring on it to show some dark and some white. I like the DC Direct one better.
Yeah, because this one's wood than this one, because this one is pretty much
bendable. But this one is thick, and you bend it, you break it.
Yep.
So this is what you want for your wood stake. So anyway, drunk Batman's here. He's trying to stand. He keeps falling over. So you got your problems, but you also got your benefits. You want a smaller figure that fits with your figures, that your streamlined figures. He could prop pretty well in the back or stand on his own. See, so doing it on his own. Then that's great. And you have some really good. There is good sculpt here, or you can have a sculpt. He looks more decrepit, more starved. He's been fed. He's starved. You want a starved Batman whose face is a little bit gooey and he takes up more shelf space, then this is the one you want.
In more detail.
It's the world of where you can get anything, people. So you can get your DC Direct or you can get your DC Universe Classics. Batman Legends, Batman Unlimited, DC Universe Classics. The world of the internet. He's right. So you can get either one you want. You can get them both. Let's set them together. Have them fight. Me personally, when I buy a new figure and I feel it's an upgrade, I will give a previous one to one of my kids. My daughter Sarah, Diamond Girl of Awesomeness, has claimed Diamond Girl has claimed this one years ago, before I even knew they'd make another one. So he's hasta la vista for my collection.
Or is that Emerald Chick?
No, Diamond Girl is Katie.
Yeah,
Katie doesn't want it.
Sarah's Emerald.
It's Emerald Chick wants it. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Emerald Chick wants Vampire Batman. Diamond Girl wants my Huntress, but that's a review for some other day.
That's a review for some other day.
Because I don't even own Huntress. So anyway, that's it. On that Walmart tote, it was a little harder to see him stand. As you can see, there's nothing propping him up. Not this cool gargoyle that I've got, and who's got lots of dust on him, or this teddy bear I got from my wife, or this bunny rabbit that my other daughter had made for me, and I really love. None of these things are propping him up. He's standing on his own. If you live in an earthquake area, like everybody else, he could fall. But and if he falls, the wing might break off. But he can stand on his own. Just to kind of show you a better review. Turns out that my daughter doesn't want my decrepit, scary-looking Vampire Batman, so I think I'll be keeping him, I guess. Nobody wants him. And so I think I'm going to hang on to him. I don't know. So, I don't know what I'm doing with him, because I already have one that I think is a good replacement. I'm bigger than you. I'm going to eat your head. Nom, 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 nom. So anyway, again, style. Good style and stylistic comic book type style. This is what you want. But if you want more of a streamlined figure that fits with your other figures and fits on the shelf better, then this is what you want. Just beware of the wings, as this one's tilted. Grrr. But anyway, there you go. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll be doing more videos with my figures and reviews and stuff. It's fun to do that. So, and I will sign out.